Oh, it is Femencio. How are you doing, yo? Hope you're all having a good day, be it morning, afternoon, or night for any of y'all. I am going to be continuing doing my Toa sketch that I did yesterday and seeing how much I can finish. Well, I'm going to finish this Toa sketch doodle drawing by the end of this stream, preferably. I don't want to spend more than 2 streams on a doodle or a sketch because it's just practice and I don't want to spend like an insane amount of time to practice, because the more things I get to practice, the better it will be, or the more practice I'll get, instead of just focusing on the same thing over and over again just to change a few details here and there. I'd rather have it be 80% completed, decent looking, rather than like 80% completed and decent looking within 1 or 2 streams. That is around like maybe 6 to 8 hours, rather than spend like a whole like 4 or 5 streams, like 15 to 20 hours. So we'll just have to see how far I get and how much I am going to do. I shouldn't take too long. It is also something that does take time and practice. The background, but oh well. Let's see. Okay, let's just continue where I left off yesterday, which was when I was trying to draw her pants. Always all of this. But again, it will be what it will be. I have to find a way to keep going with it. So, let's see. Let's move the mic a wee bit so I'm not like eating the mic. Problem. The mic's either in my way or I'm eating the mic. One or the other, but it will be what it will be. Let's see, that's the clothes layer. Put the clothes on her. Oh, and finishing. I left off on drawing her. I have to finish drawing her belly button, the piercings, and everything else. That will be. That'll be something that. There for now. Size of that, sorry. Green. Okay, let's. Positioning. Have a little bit of that there and here. Okay, this leg is up front, so technically, but also low. Okay. Could have warmed up a wee bit more before I started, but it'll be what it'll be. I did a little bit of karaoke at a stream just to try to shake out the nerve of going live, but no matter what, I still have that slight tiny panic attack of, oh shoot, I'm going live, I hit the live button, oh no, I'm live! And anyone and everyone can just walk in and just hear me yapping about random stuff. Or just be a nervous wreck and break down. Which is, gotta slowly get a... let's see. It's gonna be more of a curve where the shadows are. Need to be fully transparent, but it should be. There we go. I don't know if that's gonna be best. Be what it'll be. I do know that since I'm dual streaming, I could create a thumbnail for the YouTube video, but a bit lazy. And like, I'd rather just hit the go live button than create a thumbnail, because if I create a thumbnail to like probably an hour and a half thumbnail, even though it's just gonna be like a quick simple doodle again, probably a chibi. I'll have to see what I do for the. Then I have to change out the thumbnails for these first 3 live streams, so that it's not just it's not a random section of that. It's a little bit more all things considered, but it'll be what it'll be for now. No matter what I do, I'm still a little bit of heebie-jeebies. Apologize in advance. Apologize in advance if I start talking circles, repeating the same, as that is par for the course in the beginning. As I get more accustomed to things, I will be able to naturally flow through different topics, but for now, it's going to be a little bit of a trial and error period. Or just do a bunch of things and see what works, what doesn't. Throw stuff at the wall. If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't stick, then it will be what it will be. So, yeah. It will be interesting nonetheless. I'm just hoping that everything is going relatively well when considered. No. What else do I need to do for pants? I think I could leave that for the pants for now. Doesn't need to be. Just doesn't need a much. I think this could just be flat-ish. You'd have like little here. It's like the shadow crease later. Worry about clothing, the main clothing. I'll worry about like small accessories here and there afterwards. Now I just need to get down with the general shape and out. Looking back from I said yesterday, for like how her hoodie is supposed to wrap around her body, I think I roughly understand how it's gonna go now. Since even up here, her arm goes behind her body. So I'm gonna say it's gonna do the same here. So I could just trace this a little bit. Have armpit a little bit here, like that. Have it like this come out here. This is gonna look a little bit weird, but I'm just gonna let it ride. I do not want to get stuck. Nice. Looks semi-decent. I will stay with that. Doesn't look semi-decent, I will also call it. I'm just gonna fixate on that for like 30 minutes. Bog down. Fixing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Or for the course when it comes to for me, I'd rather keep progressing. Let's see. Okay, yeah. You'll have the hoodie come out that way. You'd have a little bit of this bump over here for the belt-ish thing. Doubled it there. Okay. That's don't really have there. There. This belt here. Gray dot. And a little bit here. Okay. That should do it. The tricky thing now is like drawing her sleeves. I relatively have crop top down and hit beginnings of her. Let's see. A little bit of the open here. Yeah, something like this. There we go. There we go. I don't know how much of it would... I would just have to... I would have to pick one thing that is... how does that look? I have to pick one thing that's mainly the focus when it comes to this, and then... Boarding roll. Something like that. And the belt covers it. Nation. Is there like a squish? Oh, even with her belts on the legs and the pants, there's not much. mainly just okay. And then her jacket is mostly transparent, which I'm probably gonna take the transparent for the sake of. That's going to take a little bit more effort. That little bit drain my brain. So I'm just gonna do what I can. This and then this I should do coloring, but then it's like it's not really much base coloring to do for this because it's literally just white. Her outfit is mainly white with a few or can do the black version. The white one does look good, but I might just do the black version just because it pops a little bit more and has weep. Might do that version, but I'll still have overlying outfit. Okay, I think that's what I'm. First things first, sleeves down. Okay, yeah. There, sleeve down. It's gonna be poofy. Here. Clothing here. I think it would be here. A little bit of take the liberties of just of the actual jacket. Here and of other sleeve. Sleeve. Again, I'm probably just gonna make this darker than it actually is. Transparent, and you can see let's go side of it. White or hazy. I kind of suck with the transparency. Effects comes down to it. Here, so it's sleeve. Way, I believe. And if I'm gonna completely hug her arm, but it is to really should have gotten a little bit more now clothing drapes. This is really pushing my bring this up here. Yeah, sure, we'll roll with that. Not the best, not the best. It's man, at least for now. Okay. So we'll sleep. I don't know how to transition. I don't know how to transition between like random topics. Going from drawing and then just like cold turkey. I don't know if it's called cold. You're just like going straight into a random topic. The big random topic shock, I guess. Oh well, I guess it's the nature of streams. Topics. I just have to get used to yapping about switching topics. I see. It's just a weird thing though. I guess I already just start talking about something and then change up. Continue drawing and then I'm like, oh, let me just quickly read what I'm doing. See how I'm gonna have to change a little bit too. I'm gonna make it a week. See? Not like it. Goofier. Or wider is how I should say. Probably not that wide. Wide? Also, like straightish. It's tending. Really like that. Sure, okay. And then leave here, here. Maybe. Gonna be a little bit of a weird draping. Work. Okay. Here. A little bit like. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Okay. These are drawn. Just doing it to what seems and percent good. Not there. At least it's somewhat there. That's where that actually got a lot of value. Let's see. Let's say this actually. Here? Don't know if it would follow which creature actually follow would have followed this creature. Do something like this. Down. Body with the dimmed a little bit. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. Or that looks half decent. I'm perfectly fine. Ooh, the body a little bit lower. What is that one? That is the bangs of the hair. Let's just color of this. There we go. Here's the colors of the to the body. Here. We do this shirt here. Pop out. A little bit more again. Exaggerated. On. There. Piercing. Piercing. Thing followed by another chain. There. Here. Probably just do this and bring and not. Or I might just do the colors. I should do now. Where the heck is Towa? There she is. Okay. This one over here. More. A little bit of the two. Or would that be a little bit? That look. Feel like a little bit iffy. Like that could be. Okay, that should do. This, bring it down. Nice. That feels a little bit too ish, not rotundish, it's just a little bit. There we go. Nice. Almost nice. Nope. That. Not at all. There we go. I believe that should do. I guess it isn't for the stomach, but I think on this right here, the waist is so much. I put her waist, I mean, her waist starts so much higher than I have it here. Oh, that's not all. That's different. Let's see what happens if I change. Control B, main version. Edit this a little bit. Waist come up a wee bit high. Is or here. Curvature. There means I were to just here. There one should theoretically here. Here. A little bit there. Okay, there we go. Down and curve. Okay. Nice. Not nice. Let's hide the body. Where's the body? Her? But feels off. I think it's because it's not like use references. There to show the crease things. I also like thicken the actual line art, shadows or other. Looks good. This oh. Down and this that a little bit where the stomach and squish down, round, pants, belt buckle, lines here and there. Happens. I think I like that. I think that comes out fine for the body in comparison to one I did. So yeah, having the waist come a lot higher is a lot better than how I had it lower. Okay, so the waist at a high point versus the waist at a... It's a subtle difference, but the tiny little subtle difference, a little bit of the feel of the stomach, and I prefer the look of higher. Okay. That's decent for her clothing. I could just say screw all of her accessories and just have it like this for a little sketch, but I will attempt to do her accessories on the player. Nice, I will leave it. If it doesn't, I will just ignore it. Basically, oop, I sent that to the player. Okay, there we go. Repeat it. Okay. Bam. No. Fix it since I already darkened body line. I don't really need darken it. Not the most important thing to darken the lines, because again, this is a draft. This is a sketch. That doesn't really matter, because I'm just gonna trace over this and then fix it up again, and then whatever comes out after this will be the final thing I will color. Call it a quote-unquote piece. Will it be fully finished? Yes, but it would be decent. Okay, there we go. That's the clothing. That's there. Let's a little bit more. Is a bit more aggressive. Yeah, the pants. Okay. Okay. That should be good. There we go. Creases, yeah, don't need to worry about the pants too much, but still. One little thing right here. Of it. Here. Here. One here. That's go. Maybe a round thing here. Yeah, something like that. Do. Okay. Here. Here. There. Here. Tiny bit of shadow. It changes, doesn't do much wrong, sadly, because that's something I should be doing art layer, but it's just something I like to do now so I could see where I actually need to properly indent the shadows, but actually a little bit nice. And it just makes the sketch look a lot nicer. This one is the hair, so that's body. Where's that one? Oh, okay. Okay. This one right here. I was wondering where that's not erased. Oh wait, what? From this? Oh, it is from that. It is from the body. Okay. That is good for base body. I just gotta darken the sleeves here. Lines. good. Drop the face in. Outfit looks decent. I could either, yeah, I might do what it does show on sleeves. Slightly transparent. Transparent. Okay, yeah. So her clothes, this will be, I'll call this, yes. Upper CLS. Another layer. Arms. This. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Lightly and here. That. A bit. Even though I believe edge of the arm would actually like jacket is here. Jacket a little bit there and a bit more over there. A little bit. Probably make that a bit bold. Good. Here. Okay, nice. There we go. I think I like that. That is decent first. Very decent. I just gotta do the face. Now I just gotta do. So do. Let's get her face down. Very quickly. Merge that with something else. Draw her face. I think the brush size can stay at 80. It's not. Again, oh, that's cute it'll be. Increase the. So it show a bit better overall. Not gonna be using that. Okay. This one should have. Like that. I could do her strap. As a reference. Okay. A wee bit lag. I'll leave it be then. I hit the wrong. There we go. Let's just do the face. Of her hair over here. This. And here. A little bit. This is where the problem starts. First instead of in. That hair just should look, but after now. But here. Actually, I just do the full race. Then this line. Darken the. Shape and shape. Okay. Go and then here. Okay. Smug face. Going in sense. Okay. Good, good. Oh, bad. Not good. Bad. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Ooh, she has earrings, and I also didn't fully poke her ear out. Ear is a bit more of a... She doesn't have like full-on devil ears where it's like pointy. It is also pointy. I don't know if that's an artistic or just like they like to draw ears. There's the other hidden ear on the side, but the right. I'll just leave it a bit good. Your flaps, flap ear. Actually, here, chains down. This, that, and come down like a lot lower. So it's. I'm just gonna do a string now. Chain action over there. So we finish our eyes. That call this 7% completed sketch, I believe. Six. Do 6. Too much. Actual. No, but little 3. Very wide 3. One way to do it. Nose. There. And like that. Nice. I don't know why I'm zooming out and looking at the overall photo. It's literally on my... Okay. Also seeing them side by side. Good. Weird-ish. Looks relatively decent. Over here, Steve is a bit weird to me. But English, I'll continue. Oy, mumbling and muttering. Yeah. Eyes are a wee bit wider. They also hide the eyelash. I tend to just... Again, that's a slight style. There. Voila. Also, for the hair and that, shouldn't really do that. And it just thing using. I'll leave it. I'll let it be. Highlight this stuff. In just a little bit. Depth there again. I think I left that at a 6. Doing it increased it dingus without confirming, but I believe it was a 6. Down a little bit here, a little bit of here, bottom eyelid. This smug curve, this slightly exaggerated and so that looks. I did that. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's 3. One eye is extremely smaller than the other, but it also adds to the smoke. Tiny mistake accidentally add. Squinting her eyes at you. I'll pretend that's a choice. That is pretty much a mistake on my part. But you know what? I'll leave that as a stylistic piece. And I'll call it a bit more rounder or appear. I am. Okay. Especially, I don't really like sleeping with like on. I remember like as a kid, I used to always want a nightlight shining in the room because I was like, oh no, the darkness. I can't sleep when it's fully dark as a kid. Now I'm like, I can't sleep if there's a single spot of light. It's like the duality of like when you were young and then old. Like when I was young, I was more scared of the dark and like I wanted a light source to light up the room. But now that I'm older, I'm like, eek, I can't go to sleep when there's like tiny little light coming from the monitor, tiny little sliver on, but or otherwise having that tiny little dot of light that is perpetually always glowing. I always want to like cover that up with tape or use a towel to cover it up so that I don't see sounds are a little bit more to ignore, but like repetitive sound. Regular sounds. I don't know. Like hearing irregular sound, not repeating specific. Good sound or no. Get used to it. Humming up. Noise versus. Eyebrow up. How does that look? Having her eye squints a little bit adds a little bit to the smugness. No, that was a mistake on my part. A little squint adds a little bit. I could also squint her other eye, but I think just having that little squint adds a little. I'll leave it like that. That's actually pretty solid. I like that. Let's see. There, and that. For now, I have to do her ponytail. Once I do her ponytail, should be good for. Bring up lock-in method a little bit, just to have there, the face, and right there. That's still looks pretty. Okay, yeah, still looks pretty. I don't know how I feel about the jacket. It's a little bit it doesn't really come up smooth, or is it battering? That's just a very tiny, minute detail that I'm seeing. The more you focus on, the more it actually pops to you. But if you just look at it overall, it's just a tiny little thing that doesn't stand out unless you... Hi, Dine and Dad. How are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Let's see. Let's just do her hair. Or else I'm gonna get distracted talking about little... Let's see. What are you? How'd you doing? I'm currently just doing some random sketch. I'm doing good, I'm doing good. I had a very light dinner. I had some leftovers from lunch that I brought home from work. Ooh, it's gonna be decent enough, but the food at my workplace, very salty. They try to make Chinese food, and I don't know why I always get it. It's always over salted. It's always like just like chicken nuggets, like chicken tender type of nuggets that they serve at breakfast, like fried chicken, but then they just reuse it and toss it in teriyaki sauce and call it yeah, good enough. I'm like, I don't know why I keep getting it. I'm like, it's food, and I go salty all the time. It's always something that's not like exactly the best, which yeah, I make the same mistake over and over again and complain about it each time, and I'm like, I'll never learn. I'll learn one day, but I always just like complaining. It's always just, and I always like to hope, I pray that they would, you know, do better with the Chinese food, but they never do. But here's hoping one day. But besides that, I also had some like jalapeno poppers in the fridge, so I also snacked on some. I do like jalapeno poppers, even though jalapenos are a wee bit to me, but it's also not. I guess it's the difference between like eating jalapeno poppers hot and cold, since they were already refrigerated and the jalapeno didn't have too much spice to it, versus like if it was warm, then I guess the peppers would be a bit more spicy, a lot more. But yeah, I really do like jalapeno poppers, like hot or cold, either the cheddar or... What is the white one? Is the white one just American cheese? I know there's the yellow one. I think yellow American cheese versus the white one with just American cheese. I guess they're both American cheese jalapeno poppers. Or mozzarella. Probably mozzarella. Yeah, jalapeno poppers are good. The spiciness versus when it's cold and hot is a little different. I used to be able to just eat raw jalapenos and be like, oh, it's not that spicy. Since I haven't really eaten spicy food consistently, my spice tolerance has gone down the drain. And I'm like, oh no, I can't handle any spicy food anymore. It's also, my body can't handle food in general. Well, it can. I don't mind eating spicy food. It's not like too bad, but my body just starts sweating like crazy, even for like the slightest spice. I remember eating like curry once and I didn't taste any spice, but then I started sweating, and I'm like, why the heck am I sweating? And I'm like, I don't know, probably some sort of, I don't know if it's kept safe. That's the spice in peppers or otherwise, but yeah, I think that just triggers a weird reaction in my body that just causes me to grew up with leaving little seeds in the peppers when she always lit me up. Oh yeah, yeah. Very spicy food will always do it to you. One of what is what English? What is atu? Never heard of it. Oh. Indo-Burmese food. Like dying stew? Oh, okay. Not similar, but one of the foods that my parents make, or like my aunts and uncles would always make, is like papaya salad, which is like shredded papaya with peppers they usually grow in the backyard or otherwise, mixed with a little bit of fish sauce or crab paste. Would always eat that as a side dish, like a pickled side dish almost. Papaya salad would always be super spicy, depending on who makes it. My parents makes them like mildly spicy, but super spicy. Just the full-on Asian tolerant spice. I can't handle it. Take the garlic fry bread and dip it in. That sounds good. Crabs, yeah, crabs are good. Like crab paste or pretty good. I don't know if I can handle it. I know like my parents like to eat like celery with shrimp paste just straight. But I think the shrimp paste is a little bit too sweet for me to just like eat raw shrimp and vegetables as a dip. The different foods are always. Just remember going to my cousin's house and parents made the papaya salad, super spicy as they always do, and we just convinced his one white friend who came over for his birthday, like, oh, the papaya salad's just regular noodles, just take a big forkful and just eat it, and his face just lit up because of how spicy it was, and he was not ready for a whole spoonful of spice. It's almost like eating a whole glob of wasabi out of nowhere, and then you're like, flares up, which I'm like, I feel sorry for the guy, but it's par for the course when you come to like a random Asian party and expect the food to just be normal. There's always gonna be a little catch. We also had sash with juniper honey. Ooh, just air. Air? I've never had bear before. I don't know, is it a little bit gamey, or like if you cook it properly you could get rid of like the gamey smell? I've had like deer or venison, especially because like my roommate uni used to get like venison jerky from his. That was like decent, but a little bit of sometime. Bear's really good when cooked right. It's game flavor, huh? Well, I guess bears do eat nuts all the time. I guess the stuff would also just get infused with it a little bit here and there. Besides like random weird. I don't know. I think I've tried alligator before at like air, but I don't remember how alligator did. I think it was like some sort of alligator burger. I just can't remember. Alligators, yeah, pretty okay. I don't think I found it that bad. I do know like frog legs is another thing that some people don't like pretty good once you get over the fact that it's frog. Because I remember going to like a buffet and trying to get some of my other friends to eat the frog legs, and they're like, nah, I'm not gonna eat frog. And I'm like, it's just chicken, just small tiny chicken. It's like chicken. Just enjoy it that way. Oh, the hairs. Okay. Right? Where's that one? There it is. Okay. Let's see. Fries were a big one. season? I haven't had much lamb dish. Because the only time I've had lamb is like whenever I went to Indian. You usually get like tikka masala or other types of curries. I forget. Our workplace also does try to serve lamb, but it's always dry. Not the best. Like if you get the dry part, not the best. If you get the fatty part, then it's a little bit better, but it's also a thick cut of fat, so it's not really the healthiest thing. You send all the young camp and have us clip the runs then. Hmm? That's interesting. So you just have to cook the lamb yourself. How'd that go? My little camp. I don't think I've ever fully... No, I've never fully cooked. I think the only animals that I have cooked: chicken, cow, fish, pig, the basic four. I've never cooked or tried to make any dishes, other stuff. Let's see. All beef. Yeah, most beef dishes are good. I like eating steak sometimes. Well, I remember eating steak like 4 nights in a row. I think it was like 8 or something. Or the fillet of the steak. I forget. But I just felt like I got heartburn like after eating beef for like 4 days in a row, and I'm like, yep, you know what? I'll just stick to eating beef once or twice a week. Or just like not eating it every single day. Or I guess steak has a little bit fatty concentration in it. It causes a wee bit more heartburn. Tedious when it's like steak or beef dishes are good, be it either as the steak or ground beef, tacos or burgers or fries. Always good, and not the most healthiest thing, sadly. Chicken all, which is good, but also very plain. Burgers, just fry bread, a patty of cheese, lettuce. Ooh, that. That sounds pretty good. I don't know how much I trust lettuce in days in America with all the random parasites that they say is going around when you eat lettuce and tomatoes, but then again, it's also like I haven't got it yet eating lettuce and tomatoes. I think I'm good. But then I did go to a coworker's wedding this past weekend. And then the very next day, me and a few coworkers were just running to the toilet at work every so often. So it's like, was this something we ate? Was it actually maybe the parasite? Or it's like, we both just coincidentally ate like a weird food that gave our bodies just a tiny bit of a reaction. I'm like, it's gone now, but if it was actually that, then hey, it showed up and went away. But I don't think it was the actual parasite. So it should be good. Which is why it's a little bit good that my grow vegetables in the backyard, so we could always just eat that here and there. The last 2 summers. Something, yeah. It lasts a while, and I don't think it is that, since it takes like a week or 2 of an incubation time. So if it was that, it happened way too fast. So you wouldn't actually know you had it until a week or 2 after eating said vegetable. Hopefully it's not. I'll find out in like a week or 2 after eating the salad. I just find it funny how like the things like be careful of the produce you eat or of the lettuce and stuff, and then the first thing they serve us at the wedding is just a big bowl of lettuce and salad, and it's like, ah, interesting. They're trying to poison all of us. Yeah. Always fun seeing. Yeah, just gotta be safe with what you eat. And just risk it for the biscuit sometimes. You can't just avoid all the food out there. whatever happens, happens. I have no. I'm gonna make as smooth. Do a few there. Let's see. Oh shit! I haven't also planned what I'm gonna. I did think. There's not too many things that would scare me since I grew I grew up Asian, and then my parents had a lot of weird things in the freezer. Like we would have crickets in the freezer or grasshoppers in the freezer that my grandparents would snack on. They would like fry crickets and grasshoppers, eat it. My dad would always watch fire ants getting fried and eating like that. I think that's like a more traditional house food or Lao food, where they would just like take random insects, fry it up, and then eat it, be it ants, silkworms, or otherwise. He'd always like show that. Yeah, back when I was in Lao, we used to just always eat the random insects and just make do with what you got. And it's like, that's cool, but I don't think I can actually stomach eating ants or silkworms or mealworms. I think it was. I think it was like fried ants and worms. Even just seeing the grasshoppers, I was like, that's cool, but I'd rather not eat it. I'll let you guys eat the grasshoppers. Grew up in a very traditional. Yeah, it is cool to see all the different types of food, which makes me a lot less hesitant to try new foods. I know that Mexico has that. Oh, thank you for the follow. But yeah, each country has its own like weird assortment of food. Goes with the culture, or just like little struggle meals, or like, hey, we have this one thing, we're just gonna roll with it and eat it, and then it's gonna be either very good, very bad, otherwise. I know it's like another weird one that some people don't like is like balut, which is either chicken or duck eggs with the actual chicken side that you just boil and steam. That ate horse a lot, unfortunately. It's not that bad. For the perspective of everything. It's, yeah, I don't think eating horse is that bad, whereas one of my friends who's Chinese ate man's best friend when he went to China by accident, because in China they do sell dog meat here and there, so he accidentally ate it without actually understanding afterward. Is, I think that's like one of the, it's not that worse of a food, but and their whole puberty ceremony is dogs too. Oh, very interesting. Interesting. For the main food to be just dogs too. I would say it's cool, but then I know like a lot of people would, the fact that you're eating dog. But at the end of the day, some countries, some places, anything's food. I don't think my parents me that technically. Yeah. It's like something you can try once in your life, but it's probably something you'd have to keep to yourself in like most social situations. Else people would look at you very weirdly if you said you were. It's like, they had a chance. Maybe, maybe not, but depending on how it was procured also. I don't know. I don't think my parents ever had. Besides like water buffalo, since when they were back in like Laos or Cambodia, they would like raise their own water buffalo, and then once it's done serving its purposes, they would always just eat it the next winter, or otherwise water buffalo. I don't think probably just just a bit more like a tougher cow. I pause at the yeah. It's like for the tradition, but also probably I don't think I would try dog. As much as I would like to joke around and say I would try dog, I don't think I would have the actually a dog or even like cats or stuff. I'd rather just stick to regular animals or other animals I can't regularly see at my cousin's house. Honestly, yeah, I agree. I don't think I could, given the option. I would say kudos to whoever can try it, but that's just not something. Also, just easier to get deer and horse. Yeah, because like deer meat is a lot more easier to obtain, and it's more usual for eating because it's like during the hunting season, always go hunt, eat it that way. I'm used to like frying deer and stuff like that since back in college or uni. A roommate would always a little bit of deer on him from his family, so I would always just like snack on the pants. Horse, I never tried horse. I don't really mind it. I don't really have too much attached to horses, so it's not really too much of a weird jump to try to eat. I did hear about kangaroo meats, so also some try. That was more at like a random American. 104 beef. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just hunt for the food. Gratefully, sadly, well, not sadly, but gratefully, haven't had to that. But I did hear stories of like always saying that hunt for food back when they lived in Las Cambodia or other. They're doing that or rice stew, eating like random fish. I think it's like the two-headed fish. I also don't know how good or how much kangaroo meat in America when I see it at fairs. I don't know how they would like actually import it here, or if they just have their own farm of kangaroos just slaughter. But I don't think it's that common. Besides like random exotic foods you try at a fair, quote unquote exotic food. I don't think of other weird. So just like fishball soup, or I don't know what it's called in Laos. It's just using fish head and making soup out of it. My dad would always just play with the eyeball and that, and just like gouge out the eyeball and eat the eyes of the fish, because that's apparently a bit more delicious. But I would just eat around it and just eat everything but the actual Another weird one is I guess pig's head, where it's also like get at Chinese grocery stores. A lot of elders. Oh. It could be either traditional reasons or pollution in the water. I know like where I live, we don't really, well, I know a lot of people who fish, but they don't eat the fish they catch because there's a lot of sewage plants, or there's literally a dump down the street. You're literally eating fish infused with your own poop. So, not the best thing to eat a fish catch. Probably buy it from if you don't have grocery stores and stuff. Water is considered to be portal to hell. Okay, that makes a bit more sense for not eating. And I guess it could be like letting demons in. Wise. Or other. Thinking of like weird things also. You have to be careful eating like fresh, not fresh fish, but fish you catch in lakes and stuff, because there's also like parasites found in fish or tiny little worms. And I'm always like, yeah, maybe, yeah, no fish and no fish and that's probably like no ducks. Oh, duck is pretty good though. I do like eating, especially like roasted duck. Or duck's good, but roasted duck, there's not much meat to it. It's mainly just fat and oil. That, like, well, it's filling, but you have to eat a lot of it for it to be. But yeah, I do like duck. I know back then as a kid, I couldn't stand fish because parents used to make it like very fishy or just fry the fish straight up. So it'd be very fishy or very, how do you call it? Salty or taste like the ocean water, and I couldn't stand it. Now I can eat it a bit more without gagging. It doesn't really bother me now, but back then, whenever they bought like random fish from Asian grocery stores, fish is fishy. It's just very fishy. So I couldn't stand like the very fishy taste. Then for other stuff, like eating sushi is a lot easier than eating like full on personal favorite. Yeah. I don't know if I've tried bison. I don't think I've ever tried. Parents say it was pretty good. Never was able to get it in the state. Probably some random Asian store or other store around that I could buy bison out. But that'll probably be our future. Hey. They're weird food. Tofu soup's not. Cricket. That's just the most weirdest thing I've seen. I don't think I've really eaten weird things. Not weird things, but like probably a lot of things people don't like is like some fruits like durian. I know durian is also a you love it, you hate it type of fruit because of how stinky it is. I don't mind durian, but it is also a wee bit stinky, so I don't really eat durian that often. If it's in front of me and someone offers it, I do not mind, but I'm not gonna seek out durian. Here to walk without. Ah, yeah. Extreme starvation can you you just don't eat for a long time and then you just start eating again. Whatever you eat first will bring immense joy and comfort to fend off the start. Let's see. Do you ever like start eating like light meals from that? I know like there are some issues, like if you do fast or starve yourself for too long, if you just eat like a big meal afterwards, your body might reject it. I know that is also often fast a lot. I know a few people who just like didn't fast, but they just starved themselves, and then they could only eat small meals. By eating big meals, they couldn't properly. Let's see. I don't think there's any weird tradition. Fine. I don't think my parents were too traditional in the sense of mainly Buddhism or otherwise, as my other aunts and uncles were. I think they became a wee bit Christian after. They just dropped Buddhism or otherwise. But I did still get introduced to Buddhism whenever I went to my house where they did random blessings for houses. I remember as a kid, we would always have to go to like a cousin or an house or an house, and it would be blessed by a bunch of monks, and they do like the little chants of prayers. Then you'd have to like offer food to the monks, or I don't know what the offering actually to. There was a bunch of dishes we'd have to put food on, and then it would be offered up. So at the end of the day, it would end up in a garbage bag that would just be handed out to the kid again. Or if it was like actual fresh food, then it was always cool to see. Or if there was like a car accident or an accident, then they would always like have monks do blessings and offer prayer. I was like, I was into Buddhism or going to the temple. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't know what else I need to. The hair is not the best, but I feel like it could be better, but not something I'm gonna focus on too much. Hair's on the proper. Just this isn't. I believe like that. I was full Christian, but my grandma was. Oh, yeah. Thank you. It does look good. It's just sometimes I focus on the minute details and get bogged down by that. So it is. I think my parents or my dad's family like heavily Buddhist, but then after moving to the States, they became very Christian and took me to church like every week as a kid. Then I just grew tired of it after a while. And then my mom is now part of a Cambodian only or Khmer only, where it's like everyone there is either my aunts and uncles or their relative. It's either a relative or a relative of relatives. It's always funny to see. But it's also weird because whenever my sister went, some people from church would try to hit on her. It's like, it's also like, me and my sister's number one rule is like, if we were ever going to church and someone hit on us or trying to hit on her, mainly on her, it's like, yeah, no. We don't know if you're actual family, blood related, or otherwise. So it's also like, no dating in the church. At least whenever we went to the Cambodian church, because they would either be close relative or second cousin or third cousin, and even then it's also like, rather not play with fire. And then one of my cousins actually married someone from church, and a lot of people had issues with that. Well, not a lot of people, a few people had issues, but they weren't actually related. But I think it was a cousin's cousin, something like that. So I don't know the interpersonal relations on that, but it's also iffy here and there. Yeah, I do know that like some of my cousin's cousin did try to hit on my sister. He's like, no, ew, go away. Or your own last name. For the last names, it's a lot. Actually, no. My last name isn't really that common. Since I think it's a Laos last name and it's super long. The original last name imported from Laos is like, I think 15 letters long. And then the current one for me is like 12 letters long. Or some of my cousins have only letters as they took parts of the name out. They would either take the first 4 letters off or the last 4 letters off, or have the full. I know for mine, we took the first 4 letters off of our last name. While my other family took the last 4 or took both the first 4 and the last 4 out of their last name. One time you could have a good chance to date was when the girls dance would happen during anime way since other yeah, when it comes to dating within like fans or churches or people who could potentially be family, it's not the best. I don't know, it's also weird when like some of my cousins would just like show up to birthday parties and try to hit on other people. And like it happens so many times, either at my cousin's party or at church. People would hit on my sister, and it's like, oh, dog, you you you're too close of a family member, or at that point like second family. So yeah. Very weird, very weird. Oh well, it'll be what it'll be. Let's see, let me group all of this together. Did I do that again? Hides everything. I think I can hide the body. There. Okay, now this is where the coloring will there yet. I'll do some base color sketch. See what I can do. I might redo the line art. This is supposed to be a sketch line. Found my husband. Entirely different. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's not best to just settle for like one area, because I know my sister found a boy uni, but that she's in a different state, which is good. And then there's me, who's still the loner of the family. But it'll be what it'll be. You find someone when you find someone. I do know like a lot of the aunts and uncles like find someone, date someone. I'm like, I'll find someone when I find. For now, I'm going to enjoy doing a bunch of random shit. There's that line. There it is. Just I believe, yeah. I could find someone. One day. I know I'm going to a con next week, and like all my friends are joking like, yeah, you could find someone, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm the very anti-social person where it's like, even in a social situation, I do not talk to anyone unless I am talking to. So I usually just keep my head low and keep going. And then like I found out, I think a week ago, that one of my friends is gonna be sharing a room with me for the hotel, since he was gonna share a room with a different friend, but that friend got a girlfriend. And it's like, yeah, he's gonna come to the con with me, so I'm gonna kick you out and you're gonna have to room with CO. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind him rooming with me, I don't care, I got a big enough hotel room. But the thing is, that one friend who's rooming with me, he went to, I think, AX or Off-Kai in California one weekend, and then he found a girlfriend at AX or Off-Kai, I forget whichever con he went to. And that same friend he was supposed to originally room and get a hotel with also found a girlfriend on the same weekend in like New York or something, or convention. I'm like, how the hell do you guys find girlfriends at events on the same freaking weekend? That's just insane. I'm not as cosplayer and follow her around the whole con with no prior engagement, for real. Yes, let me follow a random cosplayer around and get just pepper sprayed and assaulted. That would be the highlight of my con. I'm just reminded of one of my coworkers going to a con, going clubbing or going to the after party, and just hitting on a random cosplayer and getting rejected. I'm like, ooh, rest in peace, my boy. I do remember, if you get pepper sprayed, it means she likes you. Yes, that means she's just too shy for me to see her true beauty. And I just have to see, not with my eyes, but with my inner soul and my feelings, see her true. I do know there was, a very cute, pretty, Bay cosplayer, I think last year. I think she was wearing the strawberry pajama Bay outfit. Because during the not during after the world tour, as we were heading out and going back to hotel rooms, she gave me a free sticker. I don't know if she was one of the I don't know if she was the one who drew it, but she did give me a free sticker, and I'm like, ooh, cool, thank you. But it's also mainly because I was also dressed as Heiko Spales, which is the male version of Taco Spales. So that's another reason why I think she gave me the free sticker. But I just said thank you and walked away, because I also very, very bad at social interactions at the moment. Oh, thank you. And just walked to a different direction with my friends to lead them back to the back. And even though we went two different ways, like 3 minutes later, after we making a turn, she was in front of us again, and I'm like, oh, shit, how did we end up following her by accident? And then I was like, do I properly say thank you to her or not? And I'm like, yeah, forget about it. It'll be what it'll be. And then I just moved on. But it's also just a funny interaction. Let's see. Yeah, dressed as like different members or stuff as cosplay. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. I do know that like when you do dress in like either cosplay or in merch of certain things, you could get free stuff sometimes. Because during the con, I did get a free stuff from Hololive fans when I was dressed as Heikos. Because they're like, oh, you like Hololive, you'd probably want this. I'm handing out free stuff for Hololive fan. And then I was able to get like a tiny, like, how big is it? Like, barely the size of my pinky of a 3D printed Grem that someone was handing out. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, thank you. And then I just gave it to my other friend since he is more of a GG fan and is more of a Grem. He wanted the printed Grem, and because they ran out by the time I found them, since they only had soap. But it's cool to see people just giving out advice. I do want to like get at least decently better at drawing probably chibis and stuff, so that I can hand out like some sort of free sticker that I drew or otherwise to random people. Hololive fan. Here's like a sticker of Ayoshi, a bunch of different members, and just hand it out to people for free, just to share the I'm sleepy, so I'm gonna go. I'm also on stream and it was fun. It was lovely to meet you, Dine and Dash. We have a good night. Enjoy. Pisu pisu. Let's see. Hopefully one day I will actually print stickers to hand out at a con, but I think that's gonna come like far and few in between. Maybe, maybe not, depending on how well I progress in drawings. And what was I gonna do? I always get distracted when I'm talking. Either focus on the drawing or the I have to try to get better at sides. Patches. I don't think there's any weird things the other weird, not a weird interaction. Like as I was walking by, or was as I was walking like along through the artist alley, someone in front of me knocked down a figurine box. Then I just like quickly put it back in place within like a split second of just instant auto reaction of like, okay, pick it up, put it down, or pick it up, put it back. And then as they were trying to thank me being very antisocial, I just kept walking. I was like, no problem, you're welcome. And I think they were like trying to start a conversation or properly thank me and talk, but I being kept walking. Okay, which I also gotta fix a little bit when it comes to social, actually speaking and listening to without just being very avoidant. On stream, it's a little easier to talk and say things, but in person, I'm way more into it. A lot more, which is the duality of Either you're very talkative both in person, online, or otherwise, or you're very quiet. It'll be what it'll be. Just do some base colors so I could figure out where the light shadow. I don't know if I want to fully focus doing everything, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Try to figure out what I want. Also, coloring hair while her body is red. That's always me. If anything, I will just try to... What the heck do you call it? I will try to get her eyes at least looking happy. I do like, out of all the things to color, I do prefer coloring eyes, because it's like one of the main or more focal points of the drawings, since a lot of people just gravitate towards the eyes or the lower eyes drawings. I do like to try to have the eyes be a bit sparkly or a bit more lively. Granted, I haven't colored eyes in, I don't know, properly colored eyes in a year and a half. So I'm gonna have to relearn how to do eyes. I've had an eye tutorial that I liked watching, would use every time I did eyes, because I liked how they drew eyes, but I forgot how they did it. So I'm probably gonna have to rewatch the tutorial and relearn the proper like layers and extra stuff. Let's just try to get the base. I know I could just use the bucket tool or the lasso tool. I have a lasso tool. I don't know why I'm just like slowly drawing this out by just using the pen, but it's also just a little bit more comforting. Willy-nilly use. Sometimes you want to do things quick and dirty and quick and fast, but sometimes you just want to take it easy and just do it the long way for absolutely no reason. Something I do sometimes. Whenever like there's a faster, quicker, and easier way to do things, I also annoy the shit out of some of my friends. Do it that way of just like doing things slowly and the more like methodical way or tedious way, I guess they would say, and just not do the most not productive, most efficient. I do know like there's more sometimes it's good to just have her hair, that's her skin color. Her skin is a little no, it's not palish, it's too yellow. Her actual skin color is pale, ish. Okay, yeah. I'll just get into the color. Main is always skin color. But again, I should probably just do the overall, or do like big portion of the skin and then try to color match it. I know there's like a way I could just import the photo to Clip Studio Paint and use Color Picker, but using Color Picker to just pick the color and automatically do it won't make me think. I want to try to make myself guess and to help me develop a sense of like, this should be the right color, this is the right color, I like it like this one, this makes more sense. And it's more practical or theoretical to try and guess it yourself to improve your skill slowly instead of one way or another. I don't know. It's always a wee bit weirdy weird. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, actually, that's not that bad of a skin color. Okay, I like that one. Okay. Just continue wherever the skin should be. I think the most skin should just be, yeah, neck, chest, waist. These are the main colors. Skin color, I don't think there's anywhere. Arms is just going to be the sleeves, so I don't... Yeah. I forgot. Neck. Under my radar. Then let's do over here. I'll just do it all the way like that. Again, I have a lasso tool. Could make this a lot faster, but I'll just do this slow and inefficient. Just for funsy. Let's see. Belt will be a different color. I'll have to erase the belt. Covers it, but there for now. This is the autofill. Autofills also autofills stuff that it's not that bad. Here, autofilled. Nice. That's enough for the skin. I'll probably find the base colors for the eyes. Do the base color. I do like the white outfit, but I just want to do the black one because it pops a wee bit more. The white one is a bit more clear. But is a wee bit more. It's good, but I just feel like the colors are a little bit weird. The blue and purple. It fits, but the highlights of it really fully. But I think I'll just do it this way anyway. I'm also missing a lot of details on her outfit. Missing like the little sashes here. I don't know if that's not a sash. That's more of a buckle. Then her little pouch. But I'm a lazy arse and I'm not gonna draw that. I'm just gonna do what I can. What I deem. Layers of all this. Am I going too hard on this? Okay. Enough. Let's just do everything on one layer now. But I'm doing too. Oh, that's not. There we go. I know it's like black, but I want to use like a gray so I could still have some when it comes. If it's like full-on black or otherwise, it becomes a lot more faded and a lot harder to. I will erase anything that goes over. I feel like a child's coloring a wee bit outside of. You know what? It doesn't need to be fully. Just be a little out of the line. You can fix it up. Go crazy all I can. Okay. Now I'll get erased. I like the well, the black is also good. The opposite of purple is green. I might take the liberty of on yellow and blue. Yellow and blue are on the. It does have the. I feel like I could for the fun, for the heck of it. I just want to make it purple. Or just use the green again. Ah! What? Oh, I minimized everything. Oopsie daisy. Okay, where's my eraser? Bada bing, bada boom. Bing, bada boom. Okay. Belt will also. Okay, so. What is the strap? Strap's gonna be blue. What? This brush. There. Okay. Here. Should be nice. A little bit of a. There we go. I really just want to focus on the eyes. Let's do like what I seeing a few of them on, just like color the eyes, color a few highlights in the hair, call it a day. You don't need to do the full body coloring. That's just too much, too much to do, too much to focus on. Brain don't want to focus. I also want to focus. It's like a struggle sometimes of like, I want to do it, but I also don't want to do it. Trying to find the middle ground of just do it. Stop trying to avoid it and just do the thing. It's not that hard. You're just letting the brain win every time. Go, oh, I don't want to do it. I'll just not do it. I'll just do it another day, which is problems. I'll do drawing another day. I'll go live another day. I don't need to go live right now. I can just do that later. And later never happened. But here I am again, streaming. So, hitting the go live button, having a minor panic attack every time I hit the go live button. Later on in the stream. Okay, I'm calmed down. It's more natural. I just have to think of it like talking to a friend, but also like hard to think about that in the beginning, and afterwards comes a little here. Always a week. Should also do the highlights in her hair. What else is there? Belly button looks alright. I feel like decent enough. Okay. Again, I worry too much about the mic. Worry about the overall composition. The overall composition. Tiny, minute. One or two. It also small ass. The whole thing. Race, dry, overcolor. Don't go, but good. Okay. Decent for her sleeve whites with a bill. Yellow and blue. I'd rather have the straps all be one color. Oh, I also changed the color. I don't have the outline color. Always tricky. Use. Say, if I were to do this. Oh, the zipper also changes in outline. No, that's still a triangle zipper. It's just harder to see on. Okay, let me. One will be. I think that blue, the same blue. The essence. A bit more lighter, maybe. A bit more paler and dark. Good. I feel like that's too. I also should check. What do thing here? Okay. Just paint bucket gray. Oh wait. Oh, how do I undo that? Where's the one? You? There we go. Shift button. Select everything. Negatives. This. You here. There. Here. I'm gonna try to turn this black and white. Just so I could contrast. Yeah, that's also for 2 or blend together too. Inverse this. If I invert way, that inverts it in cool. Yeah, that turns everything into gray silhouette. If I take away the line art, what it looks like if I take away all the coloring. Right. That. I would also have to try to make the hair a little bit nice. But for this first sketch we're drawing back, I think the overall silhouette as is. I believe it's not a color burn fact. Oh, need to lock that. Darken? Not darken. Overlay? Not overlay. Saturation? That's what it is. Saturation is what makes it white and black. Too late at night. Now you can see the different shades. Comparison. Everything. Okay. Yeah, there's a distinct color between the hair, skin tone, and the everything doesn't like blend together to turn into black and white is one of the things I don't do. It's having everything see and how the color on and color. Let's see. Here, also gonna change a little here of having it gray here with the highlights of inner. I'll make the inner of this jacket blue. There's a little outer and in. There we go, and that looks a little bit nice. Here, where is? I need another random color. So I could just drop the color here. Drop the color off screen, off the paint, so I could just color pick it. So I don't need to keep going, is this the color? Is that the color? Or if I accidentally color over the color, I might get rid of all of the color. I have something I could do as reference. The blue I want to use, and I directly yellow. That should be this one. It looks a little bit like pit. Make it a little bit bright. Too bright. Too bright. Make it a bit more. You know what? Yeah. Blue. Go. So it looks clear. This one should do. Where does the actually go? Don't know if I'll have to redo the blue. Should be for all that. Nice. Okay. Needs edit. I don't think anything else needs yellow highlight. I don't think the paint. Oh, there's also. I can't even see the pants. I'm going to assume just like this. Oh, the belt buckle. Over here. Here. Check the black and white version of it. For the saturation. Solid. Where's the saturation? There we go. Okay, so yeah, the highlights over here is also some color. I would want to have the highlight around the same saturation, but see what it be. Blue here. jacket. A little bit of a rim hoodie. Over here. That. But it would also make sense to... I would put this front here. Outside the... What's it gonna change? I was gonna add the actual outside of the follow a simple curve. But then also that would be like the back rim. Face. Where's the line art? There's the line art. What color? Here? I think darker purple. Something like that would work. Something shadow here and a here. It's the hairlines over there. So yeah, that's the hairlines of course. And that has hairs. Go. Clothing lines. That would be loose. There. Here. There. Here. So, very typical. Hair should be. There we go. I think that's most of the clothes base color. I just need to do the sleeves. Sleeves will mainly be ish, I guess I can use. Getting lazy now. Paint bucket it. This one is tricky because thing. Cool. Cover everything. I will erase that properly. Word spelling. Nestle. But also probably just select some and but yeah. Weird and scuffed. Okay. Done and taken care of. I pinch the elbow and flip. Voila. Oh, down here too. Oh. Did I erase everything too much? No, I was still on. Here we go. There, erase there, erase. Go. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, okay. Let's change that. I believe that would be... I don't know how you make things look transparent like that. Probably some sort of overlay. for a... It's probably screen with like a hard light on top. Very soft. Or is it add glow? No, it's not add glow. Definitely not add. Forget how to actually. Oh well. I'm not going to worry about getting the train. I also do not know the proper theory. Get that too. So I'll move on. Next, let's try to get buckle. Let's put that in over here. Okay. Now we could do the eyes. Then we'll be done with the base colors and I can move on to shading. Mainly the most shading would be where effects areas. That should be good. Let's see. Zipper over here. It would be black or gray, but I want to just make this. Why not? There we go. Okay. Change this layer to eyes. We can move on. Okay. Eyes isn't. Highlights of the glowing opaque. Okay. Don't know how lights of the visible, but also not. I think it's also a soft brush or blend. Too much about. So it's very close to act. Okay. It is blur tool. Let's just blur this a little bit. And it's nicer that way. It just blends. There we go. There we go. Eye color. And then I'll be done. Ish. Done-ish. Won't be fully done. It'll be 60%. A little darker now. Is ish. It will not look the theme of thing. How I didn't fully get in. Here. See when you are very close to zoomed in like this. Eyes, shadows. Pretty good. Pretty solid. Duration. Decent. Could be a wee bit better. Oh, I didn't cover the saturation there. Well, that makes sense. I had to add that afterward. Normal. What's this? In. Let's put saturation. Where's saturation? Voila. Towa. Towa-sama. Eyes. More of a yellowish greenish hue. Yeah, that. Okay, nice, nice. You're here. There. Perfect. I want to make do like the shadows and a little bit shadows here. I don't have opacity. I don't opacity. A little bit true. I don't know if I'm gonna add one of the things I followed Bang Dream eye effect on like the irises. A bit more version of that. A little bit. I do want to try to focus eyes for the wee bit more detailed. If anything is the most detailed, I do want it to be. See how well it looks. Purely the eye. At the very least. Here. There. But I'm not going to use too much specific layer settings. Pose a restriction. Make it more of a challenge. Force my brain into. I think this one would be a bit more mirror. And that makes it look like she's. I really should just have it. Did it. Self. Same layer. Editing it. Fully. Yeah. There and there. Nope. A little darker, but here, a little moist. Darkness. There. Here. There. Barely visible. Things when you adds that tiny little bit of depth. Oh, yeah. A little bit of brush. Let's open. I would want to make that's like visible, but it also mainly wanted to be behind. A little bit in front. To do the eyes, right? Shadows. A little bit of the here, but I don't know if it's called a there, point in the center, here and there, here, line, here, center. There's no rhyme or reason. This is just something I saw in like Bang Dream I liked how they draw the eyes. So, you know what? I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna steal that. Do something similar. Something similar. Exactly similar. A few different shading different. I do like how they irises. It's like a tiny little sick of dang dream. Adds a little bit more of a depth to it. But you know what? I'm gonna stick to it. I already did it. I not mind it. Make a decision. You either stick to it or you change it. This one. A little bit. Makes her eyes look a little more, which is something, but it's not exactly the something I want. I want to have this more impactful, like darken this a tiny bit more. See the eyes. Okay. Next, new layer. I did so. Next effect. Do truly. Leave its big round thing like this. Round, come under, another there. Come up a little bit more like Towa. Oh yeah, Towa has not do. And here, base, tiny portion of it. Tiny erase, like there, tiny there. There. Bubble. What does this pink stuff do? If I change the layer of this to... Was it vivid light? Nope, not vivid light. Not hue, not saturation. Brightness? Nope. What am I trying to do? Let's see. Let's see. Not multiply, it's not darken. It's supposed to make it look whiter. Subtract? Not subtract. Not linear burn, lighten? Oh, I think it's screen? Yeah, it's screen. If I make it screen, lighten it right there. Blur it. Either blur or blend. Try to blur it. Here. Softer. Blur this a little bit. Airbrush tool. Very this. It's just a tiny little bit of glare and haze. Oh, wait, that's how I. Okay, that's how I make the transparency effect. Where is the sleeves? There's the sleeves. Okay, so if I make the sleeves, was it screen? What? Huh? Normal. No, that's the. Yeah, it is screen. If I make it screen, that's how. I'll have to figure out how to do that. At least I know in what way I try. Now I could add some which will just say here. I also like to do a very weird highlight where I just do a long triangle. That's here. that. Here. Not. And then let's use the eyes. All of this being eyes. Let me you. Oh, not that, not that, not that. Here. All of the colors into the folder and see how it looks. Have the eyes. Not bad if it's just eyes. If I also just take away the eyes, get something like that, which is also pretty decent. It's also pretty cool. I like how that looks. Just the eyes. Very distinct. Okay. Good, good, good. And we have eyes with everything. Try to pinpoint white highlight. So. Go. Let's go somewhere else. Tiny little slip. Tiniest of. Nice suit. There, that there, and that. Very hot. Yeah, for the thanks here. Ooh. Is that the same type? Yeah, okay. Bright pink. Okay, there we go. Potentially a very bright pink. I want it to be like very, very bright. This be brighter than actual, like that. Everything back. We'll do it this way. There, here, this, there. Okay, how does that look if I take duration? Looks a lot better. Okay, there we go. Trace. Way too small. Cool. Go. Not hot pink is. Oh. There we go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Here we continue down. Let's see here. Paint bucket tool. There. Here. And then clean up. Paint bucket. 2, 2. Yeah, decent enough. Oop. Oh. A little bit of the here. Bunches up. If I were to take away the colors, how the highlights, not bad, the best, pretty good, pretty good, I like that. The eyes again, pretty decent. Okay, that very, very solid. Sketch of Towa. Oh, sketchy. This one, 2 hours and 20. Okay. So it took me 2 hours to do up to the base sketch, and then it took me another 2 hours to finish the base sketch, and then figure out what colors I want to use. So that looks decent. Now I could do a little bit of shading. A little bit of shading. Not gonna be too much shading. But I do want skin. Let's do a clip to below. Some air. I believe. I forgot how I used to do. The method I used to do. Too dark. This. This. That. That. Where do the belly button? Drop. A little bit. I'm not gonna leave this at a little bit and just add the okay. There, but that here. Here. There's one thing I do want is going to be this and probably the thigh. I don't really care too much shading, but something else shading. How I'm doing the light, it feels like the light. I actually have no idea where I've decided. I'm gonna do willy-nilly shading again. Willy-nilly. There is no rhyme, there is no reason, it is just me doing what I think. Correct? Probably. Decent? Probably. Maybe. Theoretically. Hopefully. Blur tool. Blur the heck out of it. As much as I like the solid lines, I like having a little bit of larger. I could also come around with airbrush tool to in sense, trying to make it ish. I know some people like to use what do you call it? Hard lines for their shadows, but I much for things to be a bit more softer. I don't really like the hard lines when skin. Cell shading. I don't like cell shading when stuff like that. More natural to have cell shading. Here, color, there, for the opacity of everything. Good to me. A little bit and a little bit subtle. Maybe multiply it. I layer and then subtly. Will look a little bit weirder. The blood if I do there, here, there. Yeah, that's decent for the skin. do a little bit for the neck and probably a little bit for the face, but how would the face? I have to blur a little. Of the face. Need to be perfect. Cool. Again, over here. Just soften. Also with a airbrush tool. Very bit more. Oh. Use multiple. Bit thinner opacity there. Okay. That's how I like to have the skin. Brush a little bit of the nose. Huh? Oh, I'm using the wrong. There we go. Actual. There. Erase all that because it's on the wrong layer. Okay. Here. Blur this out. It's not fully there, but it's there slightly. E for brush. Yeah. Airbrush. A little bit under the mouth. That's how I would shape skin. Of everything that gets shaped, it's gonna be eyes and skin. And the highlights. See if I move the skin. Sure. Potentially. There. Go. Yeah, that doesn't mess around. What happens if I just take away the color everywhere else? Looks decent. Looks decent. Okay. Also, those very subtle go to the black and white. Still see a little bit of the skin here. So if I probably like right there. And yeah, that should do for. Okay. I actually like that. I think. So I think this will be all I do for Towa. And then I'll just do a different sketch tomorrow. Do a different sketch. Preferably tomorrow. I will be back to draw a bit more tomorrow. I think this is where I'm gonna have to. It is getting late in the night and it's time for me to sack sleep. So thank you for anyone who has been or lurked or here. 9-2 for stream following. Sleep now, but else who stopped by, thank you for stopping by, thank you for watching, thank you for listening to me yap and otherwise. I hope afternoon, evening, night, or morning, whatever time it is for you. I'm looking at color balance between my screen and the actual screen. Totally different, which pisses me off. It makes her skin look way more pale. I'll fix that later, potentially, but thank you all. I hope you have a good night. I'm Pisu pisu. Boy boy. Yossha. End stream. Boy boy.